Good morning.
Good morning.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll turn it right over to Rory Higgs for the announcements.
Good morning, St. Johnsbury Academy. Today is Tuesday, September 27th, and it is a green day. Juniors, please remain in Fuller after chapel for class officer candidate speeches. The following colleges have visits today: Washington and Lee University at 10 a.m. and Grinnell College at 11 a.m. Please be sure to visit Naviance to sign up for the visit and to view all details. Ciao! Applications for the Florence trip in February must be submitted no later than today. Please see Mrs. Loader or Mr. Rain with a finished application if you wish to be considered for this trip. Come to Chess Club today at the Streeter Beach. Beginners welcome. Come learn strategy, like why we don't move our castles first, and other common rook-y mistakes. Attention mountain bikers, check your STJ Labs email today for information regarding club rides this week and this weekend's race at Woodstock. Email Mr. Bentley by the end of the day today to reserve your spot on the bus. Why is math such hard work? All those numbers you have to carry. The math team will be meeting today in Severance 15 for practice as we prepare for the seasons of competitions starting in October. If you have any questions, contact Mr. Kinsella or Mr. Stapleford. Japan Club will meet after conference period in Newell Hall 24 today. Come ready to have fun. The Garden Club will meet in Streeter 226 after CP today. Come ready to work in the garden. Brain Bee meets today to work on brain anatomy. Science Olympiad meets Wednesday and Thursday to prepare for remote sensing and the anatomy and physiology events. The Make It Better Club will meet today right after conference period in Ranger 212. We'll be continuing to organize all the great birthday bash donations and work on other projects. Bring your ideas. Happy birthday today to Lorelei Bastres and Hannah White. Happy birthday. Today for sports, JVB boys soccer at CVU at 4:30. Please release the team at 1:15. That's all, and have a great day.
Thank you, Rory. A couple of late announcements. On Saturday, the boys cross-country team placed 7th in the large school division at the Manchester Invitational. There were nearly 100 schools from across New England and New York competing in the meet. Andrew Thornton Sherman placed 12th to lead the toppers, who finished as the top Vermont team and remain undefeated in Vermont competition. Congratulations, boys cross country. Girls cross country team handily won the Stowe Invitational this past Saturday. Junior Ava Purdy finished 2nd overall in an impressive time of 21:28. She was followed closely by Siri Jolliffe in 3rd at 21:40. Macy Moore, Jasmine Engel, and Peyton Qualter completed the scoring in 5th, 6th, and 7th place overall, resulting in the impressive team showing in which the Academy girls took 5 of the top 7 places. Congratulations, girls cross country. And one last late announcement, and I'm going to editorialize here just a bit. 2 weeks ago, I highlighted some of the excellent examples of your ownership and leadership on campus and in our community in general, and we're still seeing great examples of this, so thank you and keep up the great work. Unfortunately, I've received word from across campus that we've had some vandalism, particularly in a couple of bathrooms on campus. So I'm guessing that this announcement is for a handful of you, maybe no more than a dozen, but I think it's important we hear this. The announcement is pretty simple. Stop. Stop the behavior. It's not part of what we do as SJA community members. As Dr. Howell said yesterday, you have an opportunity when you make a mistake to make amends and repair your relationship to the community. If not, if you can't do that and you refuse to change your behavior, a decision will be made for you and we can ask you to find a different community. Thank you. Now we're going to ask Mr. Rain to come up with a live announcement.
Morning, St. Johnsbury Academy. It's great to be back here in the Big Chapel. It is a very busy time of the school year for me and for a number of others who are leading trips. And so I just want to remind you, if you are interested in an international travel opportunity, to please reach out to those trip leaders. Please get your application forms in on time. If you are one of those people who was interested in the trip to Iceland, you know that there was a lot more interest than there were places on the trip. We are seeking to fix that problem. So Mr. Weiss is communicating with you via email. You should definitely look out for his communications if you are one of those people interested in that opportunity. The Freiburg trip, the exchange program in Germany, is still looking for more applicants, so I would love to hear from some of you if you're interested in spending some time in Germany this coming summer and then hosting a partner in the fall. So that is a program for sophomores, you folks up in the balcony, and then for juniors down here on the main floor. The main reason I'm up here today is to promote a program that has quite a long tradition here at the Academy now, but has been struggling through the pandemic. We are working to reboot this program. This is the Colwell Scholars Program. So this is a program that includes a group of Academy students of your own choosing and has really minimal requirements. So there is an application process. It is pretty easy. And the only obligation is that when we have guest speakers who come here to visit the Academy and to meet with students, that you take part in those meetings. So typically we get guest speakers who are professors or experts in their field or something like that. We've had diplomats in the past. We've had military figures in the past. And they come here, they visit our community, and in the evening, or in the afternoon rather, we meet and have dinner with those folks so that we can have kind of a personal connection with these people. And then after that, they give an evening presentation, which we all attend. So there are no other meetings, there are no other obligations other than to be a part of this student group that then meets with these interesting individuals. We already have 2 speakers lined up for this fall. One is an Academy alum. His name is Obadiah Hunter. He is an artist and is a person who has traveled the world and has recently published an award-winning book on his art and his travels. So he's going to be here on October 11th. And then on November 8th, we have a professor from the University of Vermont, and she is going to be speaking about why countries attempt or do overthrow foreign governments. And you can imagine the relevance of that in today's world. Just think of the conflict in Ukraine. And she has written an entire book about this, and she's going to be talking about that. So if you like meeting people like that, if you'd like to have that opportunity, please come and see me. I will have an application form for you. If you can't come and meet me, please send me an email and I will send it to you. And those applications will be due by the end of next week. There will be, the day after tomorrow, on Thursday, another chapel speaker here who actually was in this program quite a few years ago, but she's going to be telling a little bit of her recent life story. It's a very interesting one, and she'll also be adding another little plug for the Colwell Scholars Program. So I hope you'll consider that. If you have any questions, please come and speak with me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rain. Incredible opportunity to hear from leaders in their respective fields. So again, pay attention to those announcements for Caldwell Scholar speakers. So yesterday morning I got up before the rest of my family and I went downstairs and I shined my shoes for the week. For me, it was shoe shine time, and I do this usually every week, maybe every two, and already my shoes are a little scuffed from yesterday's wearing. But I have a kit, and maybe this is a strange admission here, but I have a kit with all the tools that go with it. I've got the application brushes and the polishing cloths and the finishing brushes. So it's maybe a little eccentricity that I like to spend time shining shoes at least every once in a while. But as I was sitting in the quiet of my living room doing this yesterday, I realized that there were a series of snapshots in my mind, stretching actually quite far back, that involved shoe shining, strangely enough. And one snapshot was of my own father, who didn't do this very often, but occasionally, and usually around the holidays before we had family get-togethers, he would pull out a similar kit, a box, and shine his shoes before we would go to see family, dress up. Another snapshot was in college, when I rarely needed to dress up. I remember needing to borrow someone's shoe shine kit, their polish, because quite frankly, I couldn't afford my own at the time, so I remember that. That was meaningful and sort of reflected on a time of life when I had little. But most vividly, a snapshot that came to mind was from my 20s. And I grew up being passionate about baseball, and I was blessed to have a short, if not very inspiring baseball career. It was something that I look back on with a lot of fondness. In my 20s, I played internationally, and I also had the opportunity to coach and manage in Europe. And I worked alongside a guy named Larry Smith. And Larry was a legend. By the time I met him, Larry was well into his 70s. He had quite a career in baseball. He was a scout for the Cincinnati Reds when they were called the Big Red Machine in the 1970s. Larry coached at several D1 colleges, including Duke, my own alma mater, Indiana, and he was an assistant at Arizona State. So if you know baseball, the latter, especially Arizona State, pretty big name. But Larry went on, and he managed in the New York Penn League. He managed the Welland Pirates and the Erie Seawolves. And then finally, and later in life, he went through the Major League Baseball Envoy program, and he came to Austria, where I was managing at the time. And Larry and I were regular season rival managers. During European play, however, we would come together and we would serve on the national team, and Larry was the manager, and I had the honor of being the hitting instructor for that team. Larry was just an amazing mentor. He was the type of guy who knew everyone and seemingly everything about the game of baseball, and he was someone you might say he'd forget more about the game than you hope to learn in your career, just an incredible wealth of knowledge. But I learned a lot from Larry. And one of the things I learned was you actually, just like you clean your uniform before a game, Larry's expectation was that his coaching staff would shine their cleats, would clean up their cleats and be ready for each and every game. And we had this expectation of our players as well. So we would show up each day, and actually back at this time, I could actually polish my cleats because they were made of leather and not mesh uppers and everything that they're using with plastic now to make cleats. But after some years of practicing this habit, and I'd always do it the night before a game, right? I'd get over my bag and my things, I'd get them together and I'd polish my cleats. I realized that it was actually some of the best planning time that I had. And so I had this opportunity to be quiet over my things. I'd polish the cleats, I'd set up or at least plan out in my mind my lineup cards. I determine my bullpen strategy, think through those final considerations for the game the next day, and I began to think of this shoe shine time as my game prep time. In coaching over the years, both baseball and softball, I've encouraged this practice and chatted with Ms. Lemieux this morning, who played for me when she was here as an athlete had her teams do this. They would go home and I would say, make sure you have your shoe shine time as an athlete. Sit over your things tonight, get ready for the game tomorrow, be prepared, be mentally sharp, ready to go, review what we've been working on. To me, having clean cleats, it doesn't just look sharp, it doesn't just look right to me, right? And again, as I mentioned, it's part of being in a presentable uniform. But again, the process of getting to those clean cleats, time for quiet, time with my thoughts, time to reflect, time to prepare, to plan, to focus. So while I don't currently coach and I'm not preparing for a next game, I still find that shining my shoes every week or two gives me time. That shoe shine time is not only my time to think, but again, it's invaluable to my planning and what I'm doing with the day ahead or week ahead. So my question for you this morning is, when do you take time to be alone with your thoughts and to focus? Do you have a habit or a task over which you can tune out, allowing the rote steps of the work to proceed while you are free with your thoughts? There's certainly a number of tasks that could be this for you, but perhaps your shoes need a shine. Have a great day. Sorry, juniors, don't forget to stay after for your the president's speeches. Have a great day, faculty.